obviously you have to be cognizant of your health issues, and I'm not suggesting anyone go against medical advice ever. But I would say if you have a physician who is discouraging of this or does not seem to understand the value, I would recommend maybe looking into getting a different physician or doing some other, second opinion types of things, because I know some women particularly who have had that experience with one doctor and then they found another doctor who did get it and had completely different advice. And I think the science is quite clear that it's beneficial for most populations with a few exceptions. And so don't just take it with a grain of salt, I guess is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Do your homework first. Get a second opinion. Exactly. I like that idea.
Yeah.
The second opinion, because the word hasn't gotten out to everybody yet. There's the perception runs deep in our society, not just with the everyday person, but maybe with folks that are well educated, but just maybe not in this particular area. They haven't experienced it. They haven't seen how the effects of it firsthand.
Yeah, the medical profession medical school doesn't really teach that much about this, amazingly enough. That's something I would love to see change, and I think it's starting to change, but it's not really in mainstream medicine at this point. That the way that this is a medical issue and a medicine, if you will.
Right. Yeah, and that's actually something that we're trying to do here on track. My place of employment is going for more of an exercises medicine and going beyond the aesthetic piece. That's still there, obviously, but going more for improving your health, maintaining your health and independence and whatnot. And we'll talk about that more in a future episode. I got the owner on tap. It's coming up soon.
And actually, I could recommend a resource to folks if they're interested. There's a book called The Barbell Prescription, which I believe was written by Jonathan Sullivan.
Correct.
And he also has an Instagram and Facebook presences, but he is I believe an emergency physician was his training. He's a physician. Mm-hmm. He's a lifter. He's a coach. He has a gym. I think it's in Seattle. I'm not certain about that, but he has a whole book about this and teaches about this. So, and there are some other folks out there on social media in the same space. So if you're someone who's, sort of wants the medical, go ahead or to understand the medical connections and how this is beneficial to your health, in addition to Ren's podcast, those are some folks that you can look into.
Yeah, that book I have on my shelf. It is a fantastic read. Jonathan Sullivan, he was an emergency room physician for about 20 years, and he no longer practices, but he has now he has become a coach himself after seeing what he calls the sick aging phenotype over and over and over again, seeing a lot of the things that plague our society right now, like diabetes and cholesterol issues, heart problems, sarcopenia, you name it. He saw it over and over again and had, I can't remember exactly how, but got into lifting and saw how much it reversed pretty much every one of those issues that plague our society today. Mm-hmm. And it is just incredible, and it works for just about everybody that does it.
Yeah, one big example is osteoporosis and osteopenia. And that group I mentioned, the Facebook group, multiple women have come into that group and told stories of having been in osteopenia or even osteoporotic when they started lifting and reversing it, not just stopping it, but reversing it.
Oh, that's incredible. So they have the numbers to back it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not medication, and that's sort of one of the things. If a physician, if you get diagnosed with osteopenia, and your physician is saying, take medication, I'm not saying you shouldn't take medication. I'm saying that's probably a good time to get a second opinion, because one of the best ways to fight osteopenia is in fact strength training. Mm-hmm. So they should at the very least be considering that or talking to you about that, I would think, in most cases. So I'm not a doctor and I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just saying, take that with a
just talking from experience.
Yeah.
From
and
people,
what I've heard, anecdotal too.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're not just building muscle, we're building bones, we're building fortitude, as we've seen with Miriam here. She's really had a big shift in not only her physical health, but then mindset with your career as well. That was just an awesome thing to hear. I love hearing those little pieces people talk about, whether it's carrying all their groceries out. I've heard a couple of people say that same thing after training with me for a while, like, oh wow, things feel lighter now, and oh, my pain is gone, or it's a lot better, or whatever, and they have more energy. So thank you. Where can people find you out on the interwebs or wherever?
So probably the best place if you're interested in me and my lifting is Instagram. That's sort of my lifting account, or where I treat it sort of like a journal of my lifting life. And that's at Mirslam, Mirslam. And I would invite anyone listening, if you are especially a master's person, someone over 40, over 50, interested in getting started, if you have any questions or need support, or just someone to follow you on Instagram or whatever it is, please feel free to reach out, because I love to help people get involved in this area and in the sport as well. If you're interested in powerlifting as maybe competing, let me know. I can help you with that too. That's really my main online presence that anyone would be interested in, I guess.
All right, fantastic. Well, thank you for being on. And folks, if you're interested in more information like this, we have several other episodes that you can go back and listen to that touch on a lot of the things we've talked about today. And feel free to drop me a line at ren@ontrackhealth.net and check us out. On Track is a place where we are really taking the fitness thing in a different direction and focusing more on health, longevity, and just being more comfortable with exercise and fitness in general. So please check us out there. And that is it for today, folks. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you, Miriam, for being here. We will see you in the next one. And we have more guests coming up. So thank you again, and get strong, live long.